Hey up everyone, right, part 2 I think of this series, modifying this bike. So the plan for tonight is, I'm not going to do anything with the back of the bike at the moment. I'm going to go to the front of the bike and I'm going to tackle the handlebars. I want to do the handlebars and then come back to the seat and the frame and make sure that it looks how I want it to look. So currently with handlebars, it's got this aluminium plate, I think it is, and it's bolted with these bolts to the. It's got a name. My brother told me the name of this. Triple tree. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, this steel component here that goes onto the top of forks and headset. So I'm going to try and I want to keep this because that adds 3/4 of an inch height to the handlebars, so keep that. Remove this riser, remove all this, and then I'm going to. I've ordered some bar risers, but they've not come, so I'm going to make some temporary ones out of plastic, just to mock up the handlebars so they fit onto these perfectly, and then that will be on there like that, and that should give me roughly the right height, and then I can adjust it with washers how high I want it, so then I can fit the handlebars, fit the mirrors, and I might even fit the grips, just to see how it looks. Then also I can then find out pretty quickly if this is too short, if the throttle cable is too short, the wires, which I think I'm ready for the worst case scenario. I think they are going to need lengthening or replacing with longer components. So that's the plan. I'm just going to do a little bit off camera, bit of guessing work, or a bit of measuring and designing and all that drilling. So I'll do that off camera and then I'll show you what I've made and we'll crack on. I might take off the front mudguard. Well, I will take off the front mudguard because I'm going to attack these tonight. So I'm thinking of I'm going to weld in. I'm going to get a bolt, hex head bolt. I'm going to weld the bolt into the Allen head socket, and then hopefully the heat and the strong weld and the hex head, I can undo those bolts. That's the plan, but we'll see how it goes. Right, let's crack on. Right, so these are ready to go. I've just drilled a hole in the metal plate, drilled a hole in the plastic, and hopefully as it pulls tight, the hex head bolt will pull into the plastic and not spin. So they're ready. Later on tonight I need to, the fixing for this does not go inside motocross bars. I think it's a different diameter tube to normal motorbike handlebars. So I'm going to have to make that fit, grind back that nut, and then take some rubber off that diameter so that rubber fits in. But anyway, that's a little job that I'll probably do off camera. So on the bike, I've taken off the bar ends, whatever they're called. I've drained all the fluid out of the front brake because I'm going to be detaching that line there. I've started to loosen the screws on that. I'm going to pull all this off. So I'll set up the camera on the tripod, pull off all this, pull all this off. Might as well get mudguard off all in one go. So I'll do another time-lapse video, put on some really shitty music, and then we'll have another chat in a minute. So there we go. Bars are off. Everything. Oh, sorry, look at the wrong place. Some of the bolts were. These screws were almost seized, but anyway, all good in the end. So yeah, definitely, there's no give. There's no free wire. No, not like free wire. Wrong word. There's no extra length in these, so I'm concerned they're not going to fit. But anyway, we'll find out in a minute. So that goes in there. Just need to undo, there's a little lock pin and then a nylon nut. And that little, it's like a little plastic cap. Pull that cap out and there's an Allen head screw there, or Allen head bolt there. So undo that. Put the bars on. See how it looks with bars, see what fits, what doesn't fit. And then go from there. Found more Allen head bolts that are seized. All these are seized. These are seized, there's rusty nuts underneath them. So to get the mudguard off, the wheel needs to come off. To get this metal plate off, I need to, God knows what I'm going to do with these. Weld a nut on, I don't know. Well, if I'm pulling welder out to do them, I might as well do them at the same time because I want to put on a different brace across there. I had an idea about indicators. So these are going in bin. This will be black, this will be black, this will be black. And I thought about, I could maybe design and make something to go on here that holds an LED light. And then that'll flash, that'll be my indicator on either side. Just be sort of, again, that minimalist look. So I might do that. But yeah, enough blabbering on, let's get the handlebars fitted. Okay, back again. So it's been a fair few days since the last clip. As you can see, the handlebars are now on. I've made the mistake of starting lots of jobs and finishing none. So yeah, handlebars are on. Wing mirrors are on, but they're not on quite strong enough. This design doesn't work very well, I don't think, so I need to rethink that. Basically, it was the wall thickness of the tube was wrong. The diameter, the OD is 22, but the ID is different to normal handlebars. So I said that wrong earlier on in the video. But grips are on, clutch works. This needs, I'm going to heat it up and try and bend it out because it doesn't need to be 90 degree-ish. It's actually, as you can see there, it's the wrong angle. So I'm going to try and bend that. This needs smoothing off and painting. New lever on its way. And these are working okay for now. They are still a bit wobbly, but they're only temporary. This side, definitely need a longer brake line. I need to grind that off and smooth it in, paint it. This all fits fine. Mirror, new brake lever. Damn it, why did I do that? New brake lever on its way. I was wrong earlier. Plenty of length on this wire, which is good. Plenty of length on this wire, which is good. Nothing else fits. So the choke, which is missing, does not fit. The throttle cable is not long enough, which are over here. The throttle, that's the choke, and that's the throttle. So I'm gonna buy a universal throttle cable, and I'm gonna try and reuse the fittings and bodge something that's a decent bodge that's going to be reliable. So I need to do that. For 10 quid I can get a new braided front brake line, stainless steel braided, and I can get it in various different lengths. So I'm going to measure what length I need and then order one of those for a tenner, and then probably at the same time I'm going to measure the length of this hose and get one that's braided stainless steel, just so they're matching, and they're like £10 each. So that's the plan with that. What else was there? Yeah, the indicators. I was going to fabricate something for this, but I'm creating more and more jobs for myself, which is sort of slowing me down a little bit. So I'm probably going to reuse the standard mount and just get like a nice LED indicator, mount it on there. As you can see, the headlight's gone, all the wires are exposed. I'm just going to make sure the wires are not damaged and probably put some extra insulating tape on them. This needs sanding down, painting black. That's the mock-up rear hoop. Headlight, I'm going to put in, I've got some white LEDs, and I'm going to fill that full of white LEDs and as a daytime running light, and instead of just a single little bulb on the bottom. So that needs, I need to make sure I don't damage that, and I might paint that orange. I've seen some bikes online with that orange and it looks pretty cool. That needs painting black. And then the side brackets, which are in there anyway. There's various bits that I need to paint, put back on the bike. Caliper, brake line there. Got the exhaust off eventually. I don't think I showed you that. But as you can see, it's been very bad. Rotten, almost rotten through. And there's a bit under there that's a bit, you can't see, I must on the other side. Anyway, the exhaust is not in the best condition. Annoyingly, 2 of the 4 studs has snapped. One there, one on the other side, which is going to be an absolute nightmare really. I'm going to watch a few videos on YouTube, how-to videos, and my first attempt is I'm going to weld a nut onto there and try and unscrew it. But I think, I don't know if this is an aluminium cylinder head. Is it an aluminium engine? Not sure. But you with a lot of other parts, when you've got steel bolts in aluminium, like these here, steel in aluminium, it corrodes, it reacts, and then it locks up. And especially with these, someone's fitted the world's cheapest, shittiest stainless steel bolts. They're just monkey metal. So the corrosion and then the monkey metal, you can't undo. So they were a twat to get out, and some others were. So I think the rest of this video now, I'm just going to set up the welder, and I'm just going to try my best to get that out. If I can't get it out, I'm going to have to probably clean all the weld off it, and drill it, tap it, maybe put in a helicoil. But if it gets any worse, engine's going to have to come out. But saying that though, they talk about coronavirus being around for the next 3 months. So if I'm sat at home for 3 months, I might as well put engine out, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's about it now. So I'm going to just crack on, put welder out, start doing some welding, and then we'll catch up in a minute. So I'm just going to quickly bring this video to an end. Welding the nuts on did not work. So I welded that onto the stud, but I got practically no penetration into the stud, which is just there. So I tried on both sides, tried it a few times, and every time I just didn't get any penetration. Plus, I think the studs are just that well seized in. I don't know if it's the cylinder head and the aluminium versus steel and the corrosion and heat and time. So I've ordered a stud removal kit, I've ordered some other bits and bats. I'm actually going to, luckily I can get a drill in, there's nothing in the way, so I'm going to very carefully start to drill them out. Hopefully I can remove the stud. If not, I've got a helicoil kit, so I might have to try and helicoil it, but I've just got to be very cautious not to ruin the engine, and if the engine's got to come out, then it's got to come out. But anyway, thanks for watching. This video's gone on way too long, so I'll leave it there. New video coming soon.